what's up and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be giving a review for or talking about my NECA quarter scale Terminator 2 T-800 figure. Now as you can see, this is basically a quarter scale version of the T-800 figure. I guess you can kind of say this is definitely just the ultimate version, like this right here, which I have, but made into like a quarter scale figure, because it is basically the same figure, but certain items that the actual ultimate figure has, this doesn't have, but I'm kind of excited about this, I never had a Terminator figure this size, and this is based on one of my all-time favorite films right here. As you can see, I have, this is the 4K version I have of it. I don't have the 3D version of it, but I did go and see this when it was actually in 3D at theaters, So as you can see, this is the actual packaging of it right here. As you can see, it does say Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and it also says 3D on it, because this is actually doing like a release of when they had this in 3D at theaters, and it also says T-800 quarter scale, action figure right there on the side. Also has an image of the Arnold Schwarzenegger on a motorcycle with a T-800, the actual poster. Plus you can actually even see the figure in the inside too as well. It tells you like the ages of it for this and all that too, And you can actually see like the accessories kind of on the inside too as well, you can select the shades, some of his guns and stuff on the inside. On the side too, it also has like images of like Arnold too, and the various like things you can do with it, Even on the back too as well, as you can see. And it shows, of course, like the various like things and accessories, and poses that you can get like on the end too as well. And it has like the usual descriptions too as well. And on the side right here it says Terminator 2 Judgment Day 3D too. Now of course on the back of this, it says this right here. Just like I think the packaging for this right here, like for the ultimate one, it says that on 3 billion human lives ended on August 29th, 1997. The few survived the nuclear fire of Judgment Day lived only to face a new nightmare, the war against the machines. In their effort to eliminate all remaining humans, Skynet sent 2 Terminators back through time, their mission to destroy John Connor, the future leader of the human resistance. The first was programmed to strike at his mother Sarah Connor in the year 1984, before John was born. It failed. The second was to eliminate John when he was just a child. As before, the resistance was able to send a lone warrior to protect the boy. The only question was which one would reach him first. And of course, that was kind of the words that Sarah Connor actually spoke at the beginning of Terminator 2 when it's coming on, Now this also said that it includes a pistol, a grenade launcher, bandolier, minigun, ammo bag, and sunglasses. So the only thing I know that this doesn't really have is like a couple of alternate heads and the actual shotgun, which is kind of odd, that NECA didn't include the actual like his main weapon that he was really using, is the shotgun, But it's cool though, he does have everything else, But anyway, I'm going to open this on up and get into this. And this right is the actual background for the quarter scale T-800 Terminator figure too, as you can see, which is like a frame. And of course, this is like when it's coming on, I believe it's like the endoskeleton in it, Now these, like with the quarter scale figures, I don't really bother with these because they have all like the weapons and accessories and stuff. They have them in these plastic things which are attached to this. And if you try to remove it, they'll kind of like ruin it, So that's why I don't really bother these. But like 7 ones I've been doing, for like photography pics and stuff. Alright. Okay, as you can see, here's the NECA quarter scale T-800 Terminator, And like I said, this is basically just like a quarter scale version of the ultimate Terminator 2 Judgment Day figure they done, Now, one thing I'm gonna touch on already, I noticed that I do have a lot of trouble getting this to stand, So I'll probably actually eventually get me like a stand that will actually fit this kind of size of a figure, But yeah, other than that, it does look like awesome, So what I guess I do now is just touch on like the articulation of the figure and and accessories that he comes with too as well. As you can see, the figure measures about 18 inches. I noticed he's actually shorter than my Jason and Freddy quarter scale figures when I actually measured them, you know. So yeah, this figure is about 18 inches. Now as you can see, it really does look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know. Now I notice like there's like an issue with the eyes, you know. When you get real close to it, like the eyes are, you know, I think kind of be off with it, you know. But the actual likeness to Arnold, especially from like these kind of angles, is just superb. NECA really did a good job with that. Even from like that kind of an angle, it really looks like his like head and postures and stuff, you know. It's really amazing, you know. Like the structure of his jawbones and stuff, you know. Even like this right, like the detail like in his clothes is awesome. You can kind of open his jacket kind of to a certain extent, you know. Now this right here, I think this is like known as the bandolier. I don't think this can be removed because I know I saw other people's videos and they couldn't remove it at all either. Now I also notice like on the back, you know, because when you look at it, you see that it is actually attached, you know. Now you probably could raise the arm up, you know, and take it off. I'm not going to bother with it, you know. Now his head can be lifted up, it can be turned to like the left, you know, to the right, you know. Now I noticed at that angle it was like much more looser, you know. You can even like tilt it down, you know. His arms can be lifted up too like that as well, as you can see. He has articulation like in the hands. Now, yeah, and the wrist can be bent too like that as well, as you can see. Now, be kind of careful with those, cause like I said, be kind of, you know, I be kind of nervous that it might, you know, like break on me, you know. So I just leave it like that. I'm okay with how it is, you know. Now the waist, you know, it can't really be turned that much, but it does like he kind of has like kind of an ab crunch, cause you can see that like line right there, you know. I like how you also can see like the bullet holes too, like in the jacket too as well. You can see all like the bullet holes and stuff in this jacket. The detail on it is just superb. The shirt, it looks like it's been worn too, like the wrinkles in it. I think that's so awesome, you know. Even some of the bullet holes are even bloody too, you know, as you say, blood like in the bullet wounds. And I like how the jacket too as well, you know, this right here. It looks cool, like the belt hanging from it, the zipper and stuff. It's awesome. His legs can be split too as well. Actually, the legs kind of good too, as you can see. You can put them up like that. You can actually bend them too as well. Feet can be turned too as well. I know a lot of times if you just mess around with these a lot of times, that's when you really get the figure to stand, you know. So I guess his articulation is I guess you could say pretty good, you know. Just gotta mess with, you know, and give him a stand. But I do kind of plan on getting like a stand for this kind of size of a figure anyway, eventually. I guess now what I do is actually talk about the accessories that the figure comes with. And it looks like I actually got the stand, you know. I don't know, but I know this way will actually fall if I just leave it like this, you know. I can tell that it still will be like unbalanced, you know. But as you can see, this right here is actually the shades that Arnold comes with. And this is awesome that they did this, you know. I like how they have like a reflection in the shades too, and the lens, that's cool. I know the other ones, you know, like the Arnold figures that they have, like the 7 ones that I know of, that I have, you know, you can't actually remove the shades from Arnold, you know, they're actually attached to his head, like they're like actually like an alternate head. But this way, you actually have to put them on Arnold, so I'm going to try that. Okay, so as you can see, here's Arnold with his shades on. Now there it really does, boy, that is so superb. With the shades on, that really does like him right there. Even if it was like the 7 scale figures, you know, when he has on those, I know it really does like look like him, you know. Now another accessory that Arnold has, what the T-800 has, is this actual pistol right here. As you can see. It's a nice little size too, you know. So I guess I just try to put this in his hand, you know. But the detail on it is just superb, you know. It looks good. And the pistol itself measures about 2 inches too. I mean, actually, yeah, about 2 inches in length. As you can see, here's Arnold with the T-800 with the pistol in his hand. I noticed I was actually able to get it in too pretty easily too. So they have to loosen the hand, they actually just kind of went on in. So I think that's pretty good. The next accessory that the T-800 has is this actual grenade launcher. Very superb. This is awesome. I like the size of it too, you know. Now the detail on it is amazing, you know. This was really how this looked in the the movie, you know. You like the belt, the strap. So I guess you can actually put this around, you know, if you want to wear it on like the T-800's like shoulder. I noticed too, if I measure this about 6 inches too. The grenade launcher is like 6 inches in length. You can see there's the grenade launcher in his hand too as well. Kind of had some trouble putting that one in, you know, in that particular hand, you know. As you can see, you also can put the grenade launcher on the T-800's like back too as well. You can even switch sides with it too as well. You can put it on the side. That's good, got it. And the last accessory that the T-800 comes with is this the minigun and the actual ammo bag. This is just so awesome. The detail in this, you know, this is just so amazing. Like the actual minigun itself, as you can see right here, this is it. I know the one that came with the 7-inch one was kind of like fragile, you know, you had to be kind of careful with it, you know. But it was okay though, you know. As you can see, even inside the bullets, like the ammo. I think that's kind of cool. And another thing I think is just really awesome is the actual bag itself. This is just so cool looking. I really like this. I like how this it's actually coming out the bag too as well. You can see the zipper too. That's just so amazing. And of course you got the handle that you can put around, you know, the T-800. I like how this wrinkly too, like, you know, like all wrinkly and stuff. That's cool, the detail in that. As you can see, here's the T-800 with the minigun in his hand. This is just so awesome. This is probably how would display this figure, you know. This is just so superb. I think that is just so cool. Like I said, the only problem I really have with this figure is that it doesn't really stand too well, which is kind of common, you know. So as you can see, it's like a better look at it with the minigun. Also have the bag hanging on too right here in the back. This like the 7-inch, you know. That is just so awesome. One thing too I noticed, like with the minigun, is the actual size of which is, and like I said, it's such an awesome accessory. I think this is about it's a little longer than the actual grenade launcher. Yeah, this one is about 8 inches in length when you measure it. But the now what I do is actually compare this to the actual Ultimate T-800 from NECA, like the 7-inch one. You know, I'm actually just compare it to that one. Okay, as you can see, there's a comparison with the 7-inch Ultimate T-800 figure and the quarter scale T-800 figure. Now these actually are kind of different, you know, because this one actually is known as the Terminator 2 Judgment 3D version, like when they have re-released it in 3D, you know. So yeah, but these are like the different size comparisons. As you can see, like the difference in like an ultimate like 7-inch one and a quarter scale version, which is they're both basically the same figures, just like one is much smaller and one is much larger. The thing too is this right here is like the actual other one I'm gonna compare to get like an idea of the difference in them. As you can see, these are the differences in like the actual heads, you know. And this rail, like the 7-inch Ultimate T-800, you can't remove the shades from this one, you know. It's actually just like an alternate head. But as you can see, like the difference in size, you know, compared to the quarter scale. It's the same face, you know, but like, it's just like, you know, the difference in size. And here's the other head, as you can see. This is the one from the Ultimate 7-inch figure. And then you have the quarter scale figure too as well, so you can actually see like the difference in both of these. Now here are the pistol comparisons too as well. This is the quarter scale pistol, and the 7 one. I noticed they added different like paint to them too as well, you know. But yeah, these are the pistols. You can see like the difference in them. And as you can see, here is the actual minigun too as well. Now this I'm having kind of trouble with because they're attached, you know. But as you can see here, it's like their bags, like the difference. And even like the miniguns themselves too as well, you can see the difference in them, the size. This right here is the actual difference in the grenade launchers too, as you can see. The difference in them. This is much larger than this one, you know. Another thing too, the actual 7-inch one was actually able to, he was actually able to remove this right here, this bundle there. He was actually able to take this off of the T-800. Whereas on the actual quarter scale one right here, you can't remove this. I bet if you probably mess with it, you probably could. Like if you raise the arms up and stuff, you probably can actually squeeze it off, you know. Okay, there's my NECA quarter scale Terminator 2 T-800 figure. I would definitely recommend this figure, but one thing to be on the lookout for is it would be definitely advisable to have like some stands, you know, because I even plan on getting stands for this particular size of the figure, because I still don't really have size like stands for like quarter scale figures. I would definitely recommend getting a stand for this kind of size of figure, and I've always seen this in videos for this particular figure, you know, because some of the quarter scale figures stand pretty good, you know, because like some of the other figures I have, you know, one of them I have like this stands awesome, you know, I have no trouble stands, you know, but I am thinking about getting those. That's the only problem I really have this figure. And then if you're a Terminator fan, you know, or I guess like an Arnold fan, a Schwarzenegger fan, you know, I would definitely recommend picking this figure, especially if you're a fan of Terminator 2, you know, because like I said, this is one of my all-time favorite films. I have the 4K version of it right here, you know. And I think this was actually based on like NECA actually did this when they did like the 3D re-release of Terminator 2, like in 3D. Because I went and saw that too. I saw it 2 times, like in 3D, you know. I went and saw that, you know. But I also saw Terminator 2 when it was originally released, like in theaters, like way back in 1991. I was like a teenager at the time almost. I remember going to see it, and I saw it back then. I saw it like two times in theaters, you know. And it has always remained one of my all-time favorite films, you know. But yeah, I would definitely recommend picking this figure up. Just be aware that I definitely you would need like a stand for this, you know. It doesn't really stand. Now you can't leave it, but if you come back, of course it's gonna be on the floor, or it'll fell over, you know. So yeah, I definitely advise getting like, I guess like a stand for this particular size of a figure, you know. But anyway, that's the NECA quarter scale Terminator 2 T-800 figure. I would definitely recommend picking this up, you know. Please leave a comment and subscribe too as well. Stay here. I'll be back. Da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Da-da-da, 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 da-da-da. Hasta la vista, baby. Dun 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 dun.